Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment that everything you've been chasing, success, approval, happiness, was never outside of you at all. Imagine that the peace you crave, the love you seek, the freedom you dream of has been waiting quietly inside you right now, in this very moment. What if the only thing standing between you and the life you long for is a shift in how you see yourself, how you speak to yourself, and how you choose to live today? Stay with me, because the words you're about to hear can awaken that shift within you. There is a quiet truth that lives inside you. It has been there since the moment you came into this world. It does not shout, it does not demand, and it does not need to prove itself. It simply exists, waiting for you to stop long enough to hear it. Most of us spend so much of our time racing, achieving, chasing approval, and fearing disapproval that we forget the power that has always been within us. The truth is this: you are not what you've accumulated. You are not your reputation. You are not your past, and you are not even your body. You are a spiritual being having a temporary human experience. When you understand this, truly understand it, the burdens you carry begin to dissolve and life takes on a new quality, a quality of peace, purpose, and possibility. The mind is a magnificent tool, but for many of us it has become the master rather than the servant. Thoughts come and go like clouds drifting across the sky, and yet we cling to them as though they define us. You think to yourself, "I am anxious," or "I am unworthy," and you allow those thoughts to become your identity. But the reality is that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. You are the vast, infinite awareness within which those thoughts appear and disappear. Once you begin to notice this, you stop being imprisoned by the stories that have dominated your life. Consider the way you speak to yourself. For years you may have repeated phrases like, "I can't," "I'm too old," "I'm not good enough," "This will never work." Each of those statements is a seed, and each seed grows into a reality that confirms the belief. Life always gives you more of what you focus on. If you wake up in the morning expecting problems, you will see them everywhere. If you wake up with gratitude for being alive, for having another day to learn and give, you will notice opportunities in every encounter. What you think about expands. That is not a philosophy, it is the way life works. The question then is, what will you allow to expand today? Your past is nothing more than a story you keep alive through memory. The things you regret, the mistakes you believe are unforgivable, the pain others have caused you. These are only as real as the energy you continue to give them. Every moment that you spend rehashing the past is a moment stolen from the present, which is the only place life actually exists. Imagine carrying a heavy bag filled with stones. Each stone represents a resentment, a fear, or a regret. You clutch it tightly because you believe it is part of you. But the truth is, you can set the bag down at any moment. Nothing outside of you can ever take away your ability to choose peace right now. Forgiveness is not about condoning what happened. It is about releasing yourself from the prison of bitterness. You do it for your own freedom. You came here with nothing, and you will leave with nothing. The car you drive, the house you live in, the possessions you cling to, all of them are temporary. Yet we live as though accumulating more will finally fill the emptiness inside. That emptiness is not a curse, it is an invitation. It is life nudging you to look inward, to discover that what you seek in objects and achievements is already within you. Joy, love, and peace are not earned by what you do. They are revealed when you stop resisting who you truly are. When you align with that inner knowing, life flows with ease. Doors open, relationships heal, and opportunities arise where before you only saw obstacles. Think about the power of intention. Every single thing that has ever been created by human beings began as a thought. The chair you are sitting on, the device you hold, the clothes you wear, all of them originated in someone's imagination. The same creative force is within you. When you hold an intention with clarity and faith, you align yourself with the energy of creation itself. Obstacles appear smaller, coincidences begin to show up, and you realize that the universe is not indifferent to you. It responds to you. The vibration you put out through your thoughts, words, and emotions is what comes back to you. If you want love, be love. If you want abundance, cultivate an abundant mind. If you want peace, embody peace in the small moments of your daily life. We often live as if our worth must be proven. We seek approval from parents, teachers, friends, and even strangers. But the approval you truly seek can never come from outside of you. The moment you tie your sense of value to another person's opinion, you give away your power. Someone praises you, and you rise. Someone criticizes you, and you fall. Like a leaf tossed about by the wind, you are never stable. True freedom comes when you no longer need to be validated. You are already worthy because you exist. A tree does not need permission to grow, a river does not need approval to flow, and you do not need anyone's blessing to be who you are. When you recognize your inherent worth, you stand steady regardless of external circumstances. There is a tendency to believe that when conditions change, then we will be happy. When I have more money, then I'll relax. When I meet the right person, then I'll be complete. When my body looks a certain way, then I'll love myself. But life does not work like that. The future never arrives, it is always now. If you cannot find peace in this moment, you will not find it in some future circumstance. You may achieve what you seek, but the mind will quickly find something else to chase. The only time to be happy, to be at peace, to feel whole is right now. This moment is your life. If you miss it by living in the past or projecting into the future, you miss the only thing that ever truly exists. When you stop resisting life, when you let go of the need to control every outcome, you enter the flow of the universe. Think about water. It does not resist. It moves around rocks. It finds its way into cracks. It nourishes everything it touches, and it always seeks the lowest place. Yet over time, water wears down even the hardest stone. Be like water. Flow, adapt, trust. The universe has been orchestrating stars and galaxies long before you arrived, and it will continue long after. Trust that same intelligence is guiding your life. You may not always see the bigger picture, but you can rest in the knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. When you quiet the noise of your mind, when you allow yourself to simply be, you feel connected to something greater than yourself. Call it God, Spirit, Source, or simply love. It is the same energy that beats your heart and causes the flowers to bloom. You do not have to earn it. You do not have to beg for it. You are it. Separation is the greatest illusion. You are not separate from other people, from nature, or from the universe. When you see yourself in others, compassion arises. When you see the sacred in all things, life becomes a miracle. You realize that what you give to others, you are giving to yourself, because there is no other. A fear has been a constant companion for many of us. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not having enough, fear of dying. But fear is only a thought. It cannot harm you unless you give it power. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward in spite of it. Every time you choose love over fear, you strengthen the light within you. Every time you act from compassion rather than judgment, you expand that light into the world. And the world needs your light. Do not wait until you feel ready. Do not wait until conditions are perfect. Begin now with whatever you have wherever you are. The smallest act of kindness ripples outward in ways you cannot imagine. Life is not a problem to be solved. It is a gift to be savored. Too often we live as if we are racing towards some finish line, constantly striving, constantly comparing ourselves to others. But there is nowhere to get to. You are already here. The grass is not greener somewhere else. The grass is green where you water it. Look around you. Feel the breath moving in and out of your body. Listen to the sounds of life around you. This moment is extraordinary if you allow yourself to truly see it. Gratitude is the doorway. When you focus on what you already have rather than what you lack, you open yourself to abundance. When you appreciate the people in your life, your relationships deepen. When you thank life for even the simplest gifts, sunrise, a smile, a moment of stillness, you align with the frequency of joy. There is a power within you greater than any circumstance you face. You may not see it when challenges come, but every obstacle carries within it the seed of growth. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this here to teach me?" Life is a teacher, and every experience is a lesson. Some are gentle, others are difficult, but all are designed to bring you closer to the truth of who you are. When you stop resisting the lessons, when you embrace them with openness, you transform even suffering into wisdom. And once you learn the lesson, the obstacle no longer controls you. The message is simple, yet profound. You are not a victim of life. You are a creator. You are connected to an infinite source of love, wisdom, and strength. When you align with that source, when you live from that place of inner knowing, your life transforms. You no longer chase happiness, you embody it. You no longer seek love, you radiate it. You no longer fear the future, you trust it. You no longer fear the future, you trust it. Trust is the key that opens doors you cannot even see right now. Trust is the invisible hand that guides you when the path seems uncertain. You may not know what tomorrow holds, but you can know with certainty that you are never abandoned, never separate, never alone. The same intelligence that causes the planets to orbit the sun, the same force that turns acorns into oak trees, is moving through you, breathing you, and unfolding your life in ways that are always aligned with your highest good. When you lean into that trust, anxiety loosens its grip, and you begin to walk with confidence even in the dark. It is easy to forget that the challenges you face are not punishments, but invitations. Invitations to rise, to evolve, to step into a higher version of yourself. Consider the times in your life when you grew the most, when you discovered inner strength you didn't know you had. Chances are, those moments were not during times of comfort, but during times of difficulty. Pain has a way of breaking us open, of stripping away what is false so that we can discover what is true. It shows us what really matters. It teaches us compassion. It reminds us of our resilience. Instead of asking, why me? You might begin to ask, how is this shaping me? How is this moving me closer to love? Every storm carries a gift if you are willing to receive it. The way you perceive your life determines the life you live. Two people can experience the same event, and one sees devastation while the other sees opportunity. It is not the event that creates suffering, it is the meaning you assign to it. If you believe life is against you, then every challenge will confirm that belief. If you believe life supports you, then every challenge becomes an ally, a stepping stone toward greater wisdom and strength. What you choose to believe about your life is more powerful than any circumstance. Belief shapes perception, perception shapes action, and action shapes destiny. So ask yourself, what story are you choosing to tell about your life today? Love is the highest vibration you can embody, and it begins with how you treat yourself. Many people live in constant battle with themselves, judging their bodies, criticizing their choices, comparing themselves to others, carrying guilt and shame for years. But you cannot give what you do not have. If you want to love others, you must first embrace yourself with compassion. Self-love is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is honoring the divine presence within you. It is forgiving yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before you learned it. It is treating yourself with the same kind of kindness you would offer a child. When you love yourself, you no longer seek desperately for others to complete you because you realize you are already whole. Relationships become a mirror when you live from this place of wholeness. You begin to see that others are not here to make you happy or to fill your emptiness. They are here to reflect back to you what you most need to heal and what you most need to celebrate. The people who challenge you the most often become your greatest teachers. They show you the wounds you have not yet addressed, the judgments you still carry, the fears you have not released. Instead of resenting them, you can thank them, for they are helping you to wake up. And when you approach relationships not from need but from fullness, they transform. Love becomes about giving rather than demanding, sharing rather than clinging. You love because it is who you are, not because of what you expect to receive. There is a rhythm to life, a natural order, and when you are aligned with it, everything feels harmonious. Think about the seasons. Winter does not rush to become spring. Summer does not cling when autumn arrives. Each season has its own beauty, its own purpose, its own rhythm. Your life has seasons too. There are times of growth, times of rest, times of letting go, and times of blossoming. When you resist the season you are in, you suffer. When you accept it, you flow. If you are in a season of waiting, trust that something is being prepared beneath the surface. If you are in a season of loss, trust that space is being created for something new to emerge. Life is always renewing itself, and so are you. One of the greatest shifts you can make is to move from scarcity to abundance. Scarcity says, there is not enough money, not enough love, not enough opportunities. Abundance says, there is more than enough. Life is generous. I am provided for. Scarcity contracts, abundance expands. Scarcity breeds competition. Abundance fosters cooperation. Scarcity lives in fear. Abundance lives in trust. You may not control every external circumstance, but you can choose which mindset you live from. And when you choose abundance, you notice possibilities that scarcity would have blinded you to. You see that giving does not diminish you, it multiplies you. You understand that the universe operates on circulation. What you give flows back to you in ways you cannot predict. With an abundant heart, generosity becomes natural, and life responds in kind. Your imagination is the preview of your destiny. The images you hold in your mind are seeds you are planting for your future. If you dwell on fear, you plant seeds of fear. If you dwell on love, you plant seeds of love. Imagination is not fantasy, it is creation. Every invention, every work of art, every breakthrough began as a thought. Begin to imagine the life you desire as if it already exists. Feel it, see it, embody it. This is not about wishful thinking. It is about aligning your inner world with the reality you want to live. When you do, you set forces into motion that bring that reality closer each day. The more vivid and consistent your vision, the more powerful it becomes. Stillness is the doorway through which you access the truth of who you are. In the business of life, in the constant noise of the world, it is easy to forget that silence holds the answers you seek. Set aside time each day to be still, to breathe, to listen. In that stillness, you connect to the vastness within you. You discover that peace is not something you must achieve, but something you already are when the mind quiets. From that place of stillness, guidance arises naturally. Decisions become clearer. Worries dissolve. You no longer react impulsively, you respond with wisdom. The world may swirl with chaos, but within you there is always a sanctuary of calm if you are willing to enter it. Gratitude is the key that unlocks that sanctuary. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is present, from what is lacking to what is abundant. When you wake up and immediately think of all the things that are wrong, you create a day filled with stress. But when you wake up and say, "Thank you for another day, thank you for the breath in my lungs, thank you for the people I love," you step into a day filled with possibility. Gratitude is magnetic. The more you appreciate, the more life gives you to appreciate. Even in difficult times, there is always something to be grateful for. And when you train your eyes to see those things, your entire perspective transforms. The ego thrives on separation. It says, "I am different, I am better, I am less, I am apart." But the truth is that separation is an illusion. You are connected to all of life. You breathe the same air as everyone else. You share the same sun, the same earth, the same source. When you harm another, you harm yourself. When you bless another, you bless yourself. To live with this awareness is to live in harmony. It is to move beyond competition into cooperation, beyond judgment into compassion, beyond fear into love. Imagine a world where every person saw themselves in every other. Imagine the wars that would end, the kindness that would flourish, the healing that would spread. That vision begins with you, with the way you choose to see and treat others today. Fear will tell you that you are small, limited, powerless. Love will remind you that you are infinite, expansive, creative. Which voice will you listen to? Every moment presents the choice to shrink back into fear or to expand into love. Fear builds walls, love builds bridges. Fear clings to the past, love embraces the present. Fear doubts, love trusts. When you choose love consistently, even in small ways, it becomes your natural state. You begin to live with courage, not because fear disappears, but because love becomes stronger. Love becomes the guiding force of your life, and in its presence, fear loses its power. The purpose of your life is not something you must search endlessly for. It is already within you. Your purpose is not a job title, not a role, not a destination. Your purpose is to be who you are fully, to express the unique essence that only you can bring to the world. There is no one else with your exact combination of talents, experiences, and spirit. When you live authentically, you fulfill your purpose. It does not matter if you are raising a child, painting a picture, writing a book, building a business, or simply offering a smile to a stranger. When you do it with love, with presence, with authenticity, you are fulfilling your purpose. Stop searching for it outside of you. Begin living it right where you are. Every day is an opportunity to begin again. The past does not define you, and the future does not limit you. Right now, in this very moment, you have the power to choose differently. You can choose peace instead of conflict. You can choose forgiveness instead of resentment. You can choose faith instead of fear. You can choose love instead of judgment. Every choice creates ripples that extend beyond what you can see. Do not underestimate the power of a single choice made with love. It has the power to change your life, and it has the power to change the world. Do not underestimate the power of a single choice made with love. It has the power to change your life, and it has the power to change the world. The energy of your decisions reverberates far beyond the immediate moment, touching people you may never meet, influencing circumstances you may never see. Just as a single stone dropped into a pond creates ripples that expand outward until they reach the shore, so too do your choices radiate outward into the collective energy of life. When you choose kindness, you plant seeds of kindness that may bloom in the heart of someone else years from now. When you choose compassion, you open a door for another to experience compassion, perhaps in a place where it is most desperately needed. Never underestimate the reach of your love. So many of us wait for permission before we allow ourselves to shine. We think we must earn the right to be joyful, to be creative, to be expressive. But you need no permission slip from the world. Life itself gave you permission when it brought you here. You are not here to live someone else's version of your life. You are here to live yours. The universe is not interested in you being a copy of another person. It longs for you to be an original expression of the spirit within you. There is no greater tragedy than reaching the end of your days realizing that you live to please others instead of listening to your own heart. Every time you silence your true self to fit in, you dim the light you were meant to shine. Every time you choose authenticity over conformity, you illuminate the world. Authenticity requires courage. It means risking the disapproval of others. It means stepping away from the expectations that society may have placed on you. But the reward of authenticity is freedom. The freedom to live without pretending, the freedom to love without hiding, the freedom to create without apology. Imagine what your life would feel like if you no longer worried about what others thought of you. Imagine the energy that would be released, the joy that would naturally flow. That is the life waiting for you when you choose to be real. The present moment is the only reality you will ever know. It is tempting to believe that happiness lies in some future event, but that belief keeps happiness forever out of reach. Right now is enough. This breath is enough. This heartbeat is enough. When you immerse yourself fully in the present, you discover that joy is not something you must chase. It is something you uncover. The laughter of a child, the fragrance of a flower, the warmth of the sun, the silence of the night sky, these are not trivial details. They are invitations to remember that life itself is the miracle. When you are fully present, you no longer live as though life is something to get through. You live as though life is something to savor. There is great wisdom in surrender. Surrender is not giving up, it is giving over. It is releasing your need to control every detail and allowing life to guide you. It is the trust that there is a greater plan, even when you cannot see it. Imagine holding tightly to a rope, your hands raw from the strain, unwilling to let go because you fear what might happen. Surrender is the courage to release the rope and trust that you will be held. It is not passivity, it is partnership with the flow of the universe. It is knowing that when one door closes, another opens, and that every closed door is simply redirecting you to where you are meant to go. To live in harmony with the universe is to live with intention. Intention is the force that shapes your reality. It is more powerful than willpower, because intention is not about forcing outcomes but aligning with energy. Ask yourself, what is my intention today? What energy do I want to bring into this moment? When your intention is clear, your actions naturally align with it, and life arranges itself to support you. Set intentions of peace, of love, of contribution, and watch how opportunities arise to fulfill them. Intention is not about controlling the future. It is about guiding your energy in the present, and that energy creates the future. The universe responds not to your words, but to your vibration. You can say, I want abundance. But if you are vibrating with fear and lack, you attract scarcity. You can say, I want love. But if you are vibrating with insecurity and self-rejection, you attract relationships that mirror that. The key is to embody the vibration of what you desire now. Feel abundant even when your bank account is small. Feel loved even when you are alone. Feel peace even when the world is chaotic. When you vibrate at the frequency of what you seek, you become a magnet for it. This is not magic, it is alignment. Life cannot give you what you are unwilling to become. Every person you encounter is a teacher. Some teach you through love and kindness, others teach you through challenge and conflict. Both are valuable. The person who frustrates you may be showing you where you still hold judgment. The person who hurts you may be teaching you about forgiveness. The person who inspires you may be reminding you of your own potential. When you view every interaction as an opportunity to learn and grow, you stop labeling people as enemies or obstacles. You see them instead as guides on your journey. Gratitude for these teachers, even the difficult ones, transforms your relationships and frees you from resentment. Forgiveness is one of the greatest acts of liberation you can give yourself. To forgive does not mean you condone harmful behavior. It means you refuse to let that behavior continue to imprison you. Holding on to anger or bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Forgiveness is the release of that poison. It is choosing freedom over bondage, peace over pain. And forgiveness is not always about others often. It is about yourself. How long will you punish yourself for mistakes you made when you did not know better? How long will you hold on to shame for being human? Forgive yourself. You are learning. You are growing. You are doing the best you can. There is a simple yet profound truth. What you appreciate appreciates. When you notice the good in your life and give thanks for it, the good expands. Appreciation is not passive. It is creative. It multiplies the blessings in your life. The more you thank life for, the more life gives you to thank it for. Begin today by appreciating the small things. Appreciate the breath in your body. Appreciate the food that nourishes you. Appreciate the people who love you. Appreciation opens your heart and shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance, from complaint to celebration. Your body is a temple, a vessel for the spirit that lives within you. Treat it with respect, with care, with love. Too often we neglect the body, pushing it beyond its limits, criticizing its shape, ignoring its signals. But your body is not your enemy. It is the sacred vehicle that allows you to experience this life. Listen to it, nourish it, rest it, move it with joy. Instead of criticizing it for not fitting an image, thank it for carrying you through your days. When you honor your body, you honor the spirit within it. And when you are in harmony with your body, you find yourself more in harmony with life. Silence is not empty, it is full of wisdom. In a world that celebrates noise, distraction, and constant activity, choosing silence can feel uncomfortable at first. But within that silence, you reconnect with your true self. Silence is where inspiration is born, where clarity arises, where peace is felt most deeply. Make space for silence in your life. Walk without your phone. Sit in meditation. Spend time in nature. In silence, you remember that you are not the noise of your mind, not the business of your schedule, not the roles you play. You are the presence that observes it all. Every challenge is an invitation to trust. Every delay is an opportunity to cultivate patience. Every loss is an opening to discover resilience. Life is always teaching you, always guiding you, always shaping you into the fullest expression of yourself. Even when you cannot see the reason, even when you cannot make sense of the circumstances, you can trust that there is purpose. Trust does not mean you will never feel doubt or fear. It means you choose to move forward despite them. It means you choose to believe that life is conspiring in your favor, even when appearances suggest otherwise. Hope is a powerful force. Hope is the belief that tomorrow can be brighter than today, that healing is possible, that love will prevail. Hope is not nervy, it is courageous. It is the refusal to give in to despair. It is the light that guides you through the darkest nights. When you nurture hope, you nurture resilience. You remind yourself that no storm lasts forever, that every winter eventually gives way to spring. Hope is not something you wait for, it is something you cultivate. You water it with your thoughts, your words, your actions. And as you nurture hope within yourself, you become a beacon of hope for others. Your presence is a gift. Never underestimate the impact of simply being fully present with another person. To truly listen, to truly see, to truly honor another is one of the greatest acts of love you can offer. Presence requires no grand gestures, no perfect words. It requires only your attention, your openness, your willingness to be here now. In a world where so many feel unseen and unheard, your presence can be a healing balm. And as you practice presence with others, you also deepen your presence with yourself. You learn to sit with your own emotions, your own thoughts, your own spirit without judgment. Presence is the foundation of love. Life is a gift, not a guarantee. Every morning you awaken is another chance to live, to love, to give. Do not wait for some future moment to begin. Begin now. Begin with what you have. Begin where you are. The clock is always ticking, but it is not ticking to create fear. It is ticking to remind you to live fully. The most valuable use of your time is not in worrying about the future or reliving the past, but in pouring your heart into this present moment. That is where joy is. That is where peace is. That is where life is. That is where joy is. That is where peace is. That is where life is. And when you learn to dwell in that space, every ordinary moment becomes extraordinary. A conversation with a loved one, a walk through the park, the feeling of warm water on your skin, all of it becomes sacred when you are truly present. You stop rushing towards some imagined future and begin savoring the miracle of now. Life is not measured by how many years you accumulate, but by how deeply you live the moments you are given. One day lived with presence is worth more than a lifetime lived in distraction. The heart knows truths that the mind cannot always comprehend. You may reason your way into doubt, but the heart whispers faith. You may calculate your way into fear, but the heart points to love. When you silence the chatter of your mind long enough to listen, the heart speaks clearly. It tells you to follow the path that brings peace, to trust the nudges of intuition, to move toward what feels expansive rather than what feels constricting. The heart never lies. It does not operate from fear or logic, but from love and alignment. Trusting it may feel risky because the world often praises logic and dismisses intuition. Yet when you honor the wisdom of your heart, life unfolds with grace. There is no need to compare yourself with anyone else. Comparison is the thief of joy, for it convinces you that who you are is not enough. You look at others and imagine their lives are more successful, more meaningful, more perfect. Yet comparison is an illusion, for you never see the whole picture. You see the highlight reel, not the struggles, not the doubts, not the private battles. Every soul has its own path, its own timing, its own lessons. When you compare, you dishonor your uniqueness. The flower does not envy the tree, nor does the tree envy the bird. Each fulfills its purpose simply by being what it is. You, too, Fulfill your purpose by being unapologetically yourself. Time is precious, and how you use it reflects your values. Many spend their days rushing, worrying, scrolling, consuming, and then wonder why they feel unfulfilled. What if you began treating your time as sacred? What if you invested it in creating, in connecting, in learning, in serving? The minutes you spend in alignment create a ripple effect that shapes your entire life. Use your time not just to exist, but to live. Spend it on what truly matters, on people you love, on passions that ignite you, on acts of kindness that uplift others. In the end, you will not regret the time you gave to love. Patience is a form of trust. It is the willingness to allow life to unfold without forcing it. Seeds do not become trees overnight. Seasons take their time. And so does your journey. When you demand instant results, you plant frustration. When you cultivate patience, you plant peace. Trust that the work you are doing, the love you are giving, the intentions you are holding are already creating the future you desire. Just because you cannot yet see the results does not mean they are not forming beneath the surface. Patience is the knowing that everything comes in perfect timing, and that rushing only creates stress, not speed. Joy is not reserved for special occasions. It is available in the ordinary, if you are willing to notice. Children know this instinctively. They laugh at the simplest things, they delight in the smallest discoveries, they live with a sense of wonder. Somewhere along the way, many of us lose that ability. We tell ourselves joy must be earned, that it must come after achievement, that it requires certain conditions. But joy is not conditional. It is your natural state, available in each breath. Rediscover it by noticing what is already beautiful in your life. Let yourself laugh more, play more, create more. Do not take life so seriously that you forget to enjoy it. Every thought you think is like a brushstroke painting the canvas of your life. You can choose dark, heavy strokes of worry and resentment, or you can choose bright, light strokes of hope and love. Over time, those strokes form the picture you live in. You are the artist of your reality. No one else holds the brush. If you do not like the picture you are living, you can begin to change it one thought at a time. Replace "I can't" with "I can try." Replace "it's hopeless" with "there is a way." Replace "I am unworthy" with "I am enough." Small shifts in thought create great shifts in life. Grief is a part of love. When you lose someone or something dear to you, the pain you feel is a reflection of the depth of your love. Do not run from grief, for it is not your enemy. It is a teacher. It softens you, deepens you, connects you more deeply to the fragility of life. Grief reminds you to cherish what you have while you have it, to speak the words of love before it is too late, to live fully because nothing is guaranteed. In honoring your grief, you honor your love, and over time, grief transforms. The sharp edges soften, and what remains is gratitude for having loved it all. Generosity is not measured by how much you give, but by the spirit in which you give it. You may offer money, time, or kindness, but what matters most is the love that flows through the giving. When you give freely, without expectation of return, you align with the abundant nature of the universe. The paradox of generosity is that the more you give, the more you feel you have. The joy of seeing another uplifted by your contribution multiplies your own joy. Life is not meant to be hoarded, but shared. Every act of generosity weaves you deeper into the fabric of connection, reminding you that we are all in this together. Your words carry power. They can wound or they can heal, they can destroy or they can build. Every time you speak, you send vibrations into the world that shape the energy around you. Speak with intention. Speak words of encouragement, of truth, of love. Even when you must correct or confront, you can do so with kindness. Words once spoken cannot be taken back, so choose them carefully. And do not forget the words you speak to yourself. Your self-talk is the foundation of your inner world. If you would not speak to a friend with harshness, why speak to yourself that way? Let your words, both outward and inward, be a channel for love. Creativity is your birthright. You may think you are not creative, but creativity is not limited to art or music or writing. Creativity is in the way you solve problems, the way you cook a meal, the way you decorate your home, the way you tell a story. It is the expression of your unique spirit flowing into the world. When you deny your creativity, you deny part of your essence. Give yourself permission to create, not for recognition, not for perfection, but for joy. Let your creativity be play, exploration, expression. It does not matter if others approve. What matters is that you allow what is inside of you to come out. Life is always offering you choices between contraction and expansion. Contraction is fear, resistance, judgment. Expansion is love, acceptance, openness. You feel it in your body. Contraction feels tight, heavy, closed. Expansion feels light, free, alive. When faced with decisions, ask yourself, does this expand me or contract me? Choose what expands. Choose the path that opens your heart, even if it feels uncertain. Expansion is the direction of growth. It leads you toward your true self, while contraction keeps you stuck in old patterns. The more you choose expansion, the more your life aligns with joy. Miracles are not rare. They are everywhere waiting for your recognition. The sunrise is a miracle. The beating of your heart is a miracle. The fact that you are here alive on a planet spinning in infinite space is a miracle. When you begin to see life through the lens of wonder, everything becomes miraculous. You no longer dismiss the ordinary as mundane. You recognize it as sacred. This shift in perception changes everything. It fills you with awe, humility, and gratitude. Miracles are not about defying natural laws. They are about seeing the divine in the natural. Peace is not something you wait for the world to give you. It is something you cultivate within. The world will always have noise, conflict, and uncertainty. If you depend on outer conditions to be peaceful, you will always be waiting. True peace comes from within, from the decision to anchor yourself in love regardless of what is happening around you. It is the eye of the storm, the calm center that remains untouched. When you cultivate inner peace, you carry it into the world and your presence becomes healing. Others feel it in your words, your actions, your energy. Peace begins with you. Your life is a sacred journey. Every step, every stumble, every triumph is part of a greater unfolding. You may not always understand it as you walk it, but when you look back, you see how every piece fit together, how every detour led you where you needed to go. Trust that journey. Trust that even when the path seems unclear, you are being guided. You do not walk alone. The same force that sustains the stars sustains you. And when you align with that force, your journey becomes not just something you endure, but something you cherish.